Now here's where it gets really interesting. Let's say you take that $500 per year and invest it. At 7% annual return after 30 years, that's over $50,000 from water conservation. This is money that most people are literally flushing down the drain without a second thought. And the beautiful thing is, once you install these systems, the savings are automatic. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to exercise willpower. You don't have to make a decision every single day to save money. The system does it for you. This is the fundamental difference between people who build wealth and people who stay broke. Wealthy people build systems that automatically move money in the right direction. Poor people rely on willpower and discipline, which eventually fail. You cannot willpower your way to wealth. You have to engineer it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, John, this all sounds great, but I rent. I can't install a rainwater harvesting system or a new toilet. And look, I get it. Renting does limit your options. But you can still do a lot. You can install low-flow shower heads and faucet aerators. Most landlords won't care, and some will actually appreciate it. You can fix leaky faucets with a $5 washer replacement. You can reduce your shower time by even just 2 minutes and save about 5 gallons per shower, which is 1,825 gallons per year, which is about $7 per year per person. And here's the thing about renting. Every dollar you save on utilities is a dollar you can put toward a down payment on your own place, where you can implement all these systems and really maximize your savings. The average renter in the U.S. spends about $70 per month on water and sewage. If you can cut that by 30% through behavioral changes and minor upgrades, that's $252 per year. Over 5 years, that's $1,260, which could be part of your down payment fund. But there's a bigger psychological issue here that we need to address. Most people feel powerless about their financial situation. They look at their income, they look at their expenses, and they feel like there's no room to maneuver. The rent is the rent, the car payment is the car payment, the student loans are the student loans. Everything feels fixed and unchangeable. And this learned helplessness is what keeps people trapped. But the truth is, there's almost always room to optimize. Not through deprivation, not through living like a monk and eating ramen every day, but through intelligent system design, through making one-time investments that pay dividends forever, through replacing wasteful systems with efficient ones, through being proactive instead of reactive. Let me give you the action steps here, because information without action is just entertainment. Here's what you need to do, and I want you to do this today, not someday, today. Step 1, read your water bill. Actually look at it. Find out how many gallons you're using per month. Most people have never done this. They just see the dollar amount and pay it. But you need to know your baseline. You cannot improve what you don't measure. Step 2, do a home water audit. Go around your house and check every faucet, every toilet, every outdoor spigot. Is anything leaking? Even a small leak, like 10 drips per minute, wastes about 350 gallons per year. That's $1.40, which doesn't sound like much, but if you have 3 leaky faucets and a leaky toilet, you're wasting over 1,000 gallons per year and about $4 to $6 in water costs. More importantly, you're training your brain to accept waste, and that mentality bleeds into every other area of your financial life. Step 3, start with the easy wins. Install low-flow shower heads and faucet aerators. These take literally 10 minutes to install, require no special skills, and start saving you money immediately. You can buy a multi-pack on Amazon for like $30 and outfit your whole house. Step 4, check for rebates and incentives in your area. Go to your water utilities website right now, search for water conservation rebates plus your city name. I guarantee you there are programs you don't know about. Some cities offer free home water audits. Some offer rebates on rain barrels, efficient washing machines, smart controllers. The list goes on. This is free money, and you're leaving it on the table. Step 5, if you own your home, make a plan for bigger upgrades. Prioritize based on ROI. Usually it's toilets first, then a rainwater harvesting system if you have irrigation needs, then gray water if you're really committed. You don't have to do everything at once. In fact, you shouldn't. Do one project per year, make sure it's working well, then move on to the next one. Step 6, change your behavior. This is the hardest part, but it's also free. Turn off the water while you brush your teeth. That saves about 4 gallons per brushing, which is 2,920 gallons per year per person if you brush twice a day. Take shorter showers, run full loads of laundry and dishes, water your lawn in the early morning or late evening to minimize evaporation. These are tiny changes that feel like nothing in a moment, but they compound. Look, here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. The reason most people struggle financially isn't because they don't make enough money. It's because they have no idea where their money is going, and they've never taken the time to engineer their life for efficiency. They accept waste as normal. They think that's just what things cost, but it isn't. Things cost what they cost because of the systems you've chosen, either consciously or by default. And water is just one example. The same principles apply to electricity, heating and cooling, food waste, transportation, all of it. Your financial life is a system, and every part of that system is either optimized or it isn't. Most people are running their financial lives on default settings that were designed to extract maximum money from them while providing minimal value, and then they wonder why they can't get ahead. The difference between someone who builds wealth and someone who stays broke isn't usually income, it's intentionality. It's the willingness to spend time up front engineering systems that save time and money forever. It's understanding that a $30 investment in low-flow shower heads is actually a $580 investment over 10 years. It's seeing the invisible compounding effects of small decisions. And here's the thing that gives me hope. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you understand that your home is a system, that your finances are a system, that your entire life is a system that can be optimized, everything changes. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being an engineer of your own prosperity. So yeah, we're talking about water conservation here, but we're really talking about something much bigger. We're talking about taking control. We're talking about refusing to accept waste and inefficiency as normal. We're talking about building a life where your home works for you instead of against you, where your systems automatically move you toward wealth instead of poverty, where you're proactive instead of reactive. This isn't sexy. Nobody's going to throw you a party because you installed a low-flow toilet, but in 10 years, you'll have an extra $10,000 to $20,000 in your investment account from water savings alone, and that's just water. Imagine if you applied this same thinking to every area of your life. The path to wealth isn't complicated. It's just unsexy. It's doing the boring math, making the smart investments, building the efficient systems, and then letting time and compound interest do their thing. Most people won't do this. They'll keep flushing money down the drain, literally and figuratively, because thinking about this stuff is uncomfortable and boring. But you're not most people. If you watch this far, you're someone who's willing to do the work. So go do it. Start today. Your future self will thank you.
This is psychology working for you instead of against you. You're gamifying the budget in a way that actually makes it fun to save money. And your kids can be part of this too. If they're old enough, let them help decide how to spend the entertainment fund. Teach them about trade-offs. Hey, we could go to the movies this weekend, which would use up half our fund, or we could go to the park this weekend and save that money for the water park next weekend. Let them make those decisions. You're teaching them financial literacy in a way that's actually meaningful. Now look, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, John, this all sounds great, but I don't want to be the parent who's constantly thinking about money. I don't want to be stressed about whether we can afford to get ice cream. And I totally get that. But here's the thing. The stress you're trying to avoid by not thinking about money, it's still there. It's just showing up as anxiety when you check your bank account, or as fights with your partner about spending, or as guilt when you can't contribute to your kid's college fund because you don't have any money left over. The stress doesn't go away by ignoring it. It just manifests differently. What this system does is it takes all of that ambient financial anxiety and channels it into something productive. You think about money intentionally for like 30 minutes at the beginning of the month, and then the rest of the month you're free. You know exactly where you stand, you know what you can spend, there's no guilt, no second guessing, no fights. And here's something else that nobody talks about. When you implement a system like this, you actually enjoy the entertainment more. There's research on this. When people spend money mindfully and intentionally, they get more satisfaction from the purchase than when they spend impulsively. It's counterintuitive, but it's true. That $100 trip to the movies that you did without thinking, you probably forgot about it a week later. But that $100 trip to the movies that you saved for and planned and made special, That becomes a memory. Let me give you one more real-world example to really drive this home. I know a couple, let's call them Sarah and Tom, who have 2 kids. Before they implemented something like this system, they were spending about $5,000 a year on entertainment. They weren't tracking it, they weren't planning it, they were just kind of winging it, and they were stressed. They knew they should be saving more, they knew they should be paying off debt faster, but they also felt like they deserved to have fun with their kids. They started doing the entertainment audit, and they were shocked to realize how much they were actually spending. So they decided to cut their entertainment budget in half to $2,500 a year. That's about $200 a month. Now, that probably sounds impossibly low to some of you. How can you have fun on $200 a month with 2 kids? Here's how they did it. They got a membership to their local children's museum for $120 a year. That paid for itself in 3 visits, and they went probably once a month. So right there, they had 12 entertainment activities for $120, or $10 per activity. They started doing way more free stuff, hiking, parks, game nights, movie nights at home. They got strategic about their splurging. Instead of randomly going to expensive restaurants, they'd check Groupon and find deals. They'd go to matinee movies instead of evening shows. They'd pack snacks from home instead of buying them at concession stands. By the end of the first year, they'd saved $2,500. They used that money to pay off one of their credit cards. The following year, they kept the same budget, saved another $2,500, and opened a $529 college savings account for their kids. By year 3, they were debt-free except for their mortgage, and they were putting that $2,500 a year toward retirement. And here's the crazy part. When I asked them if they felt like they were having less fun, they said absolutely not. They said they were actually spending more quality time together as a family because they'd gotten creative. They'd started doing things they never would have thought of when they were just defaulting to expensive activities. And their kids didn't complain because the kids didn't know any different. This was just how their family operated. That's what I want you to understand. Your entertainment budget is not just about entertainment. It's about values. It's about priorities. Every dollar you spend on entertainment is a dollar you're not spending on something else. Maybe that something else is debt repayment. Maybe it's retirement savings. Maybe it's building an emergency fund so you can sleep at night. Only you can decide what matters most to you. But what you can't do, what none of us can do, is pretend like these trade-offs don't exist. Look, here's the bottom line. The average family entertainment budget has increased by about 42% over the last decade, according to consumer spending data. We're spending more and more money to keep ourselves and our kids entertained, and most of that increase isn't because we're having more fun. It's because everything costs more and we've become accustomed to a certain level of spending. We've normalized expensive entertainment to the point where we don't even question it anymore. But here's what most people don't realize, and this is really the key insight. Fun isn't expensive. Convenience is expensive. Lack of planning is expensive. Impulse decisions are expensive. But fun itself? Fun is actually pretty cheap if you're intentional about it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to start with the entertainment audit. 1 month, track every dollar. See where you actually are. Then I want you to ask yourself, what percentage of that spending was actually worth it? What percentage created memories that you're going to remember in 5 years? I'm willing to bet it's less than half, maybe way less than half. Then I want you to set a target. Maybe you want to cut your entertainment spending by 25%, maybe 50%, whatever feels right for your situation. Create your entertainment fund. Implement the 60-30-10 ratio of free, cheap, and premium activities and stick with it for 3 months. Just 3 months. See what happens. I promise you, one of 2 things will happen. Either you'll realize that you can actually have just as much fun for way less money and you'll stick with it, or you'll realize that entertainment spending is genuinely one of your top priorities and you'll make a conscious decision to keep spending that money, but you'll cut somewhere else. Either way, you win because you're making intentional decisions instead of just drifting along and hoping it works out. And here's the thing, this isn't just about the money you saved this year, this is about the trajectory of your financial life. If you can save even $2,000 a year by being smarter about entertainment spending and invest that money for 20 years at a 7% return, that's almost $90,000.
That's a down payment on a house. That's financial freedom. That's options. But it starts with recognizing that the way most families approach entertainment spending is broken. We've been sold this idea that we have to spend a lot of money to make our kids happy, to be good parents, to have a life worth living. And it's just not true. Some of the best memories you'll ever make with your family will cost you absolutely nothing. So stop lighting money on fire. Get intentional. Get creative. Your future self will thank you, your kids will be just as happy, and you'll actually start making progress on the financial goals that really matter. That's the hack. Now go implement it.